Hi guys, Mark Weir here. What I want to talk about is basically my worst fear. When growing up, I had certain things that kept me from doing what everybody else did. And I think my fear came from discussions, listening to chat with my mother and other people, and I had a certain fear. And what you're going to get from this is, okay, hopefully if you're younger, you're going to get the same mindset I might have had. And hopefully there's like towards the end, when you get a full understanding, hopefully it comes across in the right way. You can come across in the wrong way. You can understand what my fear was. I believe it's my worst fear because it's what I thought about all the time, most of my life to this point now. And I still think about it from time to time, but I'm at the point now where I think I've completed the main part of my life, the main journey for my life. I've come to a point where I'm actually riding the waves of the rewards of what I've done previously. So guys, what I'm trying to get you to understand, okay, you can take this the wrong way, you can take it or you can take it the right way. If you understand this, it's great. If you don't, but you can understand why I've basically lived my life the way I have lived from a very young age. My fear, one of my fears going through is about my comfortability, my life. I don't want to lose what I had or what I'm having. In saying that, I grew up in a quite comfortable life with quite successful business people around me, my mother, my father, even my grandparents and so forth. And the life I had was very fulfilling, very comfortable. I never seemed to really want much in life. Most things I wanted, I could get. And I tend to think in this, when the reins are taken off and you go out into the world, the only guarantee you've got is if you've learned given the right tools, you can keep on living this life. But the worst thing is if you don't, okay, you're going to live a life you've never experienced before, which is, for me, looking around, it might be called as average, might sound a bit snobby-ish, but I thought to myself, if I'm going to keep my life as comfortable as it was when I was younger, I need to work. I need to work hard mentally and prepare myself physically to keep myself basically the same lifestyle I've achieved to this point here, okay, or the same lifestyle I'm experiencing now. I was always taught to work. I was always given a lot of knowledge from my parents, my mum especially, and no matter who you are, if your life is good, your life is reasonably bad, okay, you don't want it to get worse. No matter where you are in life, mediocre life, you don't want to get worse. You always want to maintain. That feels like you've got some control on what's going on. And it's nice to think that things can get better. Okay, no matter if you have a reasonable life, good life, or not so good, it's always nice to think that things can get better. So at present, I pay my bills. I get clothes when I need it, clothes my back for me, my family. There's always food on the table. We're not short of food. And this is a comfortable life. This is what everybody aims to have in their life. Now, outside that, okay, the little bit of luxury is you get to travel. Okay, if you travel regularly, twice a year, 3 times a year, that's really good. Having meals, going out to restaurants and stuff like that, which is nice. I was brought up going to a restaurant to learn my etiquette, learn my table manners and everything else and practice it. And it's nice when you got that sort of position where you can take your family out and experience different ways, different cultures, the way they prepare their meals and way that you eat and so forth. Now the other thing as well, the biggest thing is the control of time. If I need to take time off, okay, it's nice for me to say no. I can have the time off today. Growing up working for my dad originally, and then when I left school for a short period of time, I worked for my mother, painting, decorating, believe it or not, before engineering. If I really was desperate, no, I wouldn't do it all the time. I wouldn't take the mick. I'd actually say, oh, can I have a day off? I have this to do. But I always knew that they're going to say yes, okay, as long as I wasn't taking advantage of them. And the biggest thing I got now in my life coming through, especially when I came to 2000, I got married, I went full-time into my sport. I had control of my time, and I think that is the most valuable thing, because I always say to people, and when you're on a deathbed and you're looking at probably the only thing you could possibly ask for is more time. So the thing is not the recognition. I know I've done well in my sport. The recognition can come, recognition can go. There's always people coming up. and taking as you say, the limelight off you. Okay, so it's like, I don't think it's a very good thing to be taken up by the recognition you got, which is fame, as people call it. Fortune, again, with money, it's okay, but with things happening every year, inflation, you never know, crashes and so forth, it's not good to be head to head. You need to have comfortability or passive income coming, as they call it. So I thought to myself, I need to have something where I find comfortable, where money's coming in at a reasonable amount. On doing all this, okay, when you have everything comfortable, you go for meals, you can go on holiday, you've got control of your time. If you need time off, you're not feeling very well, if your child's injured and you need to take time off for them, you can do that. Also, you're paying the bills, you've got your clothing, you've got food on the table, and this is a comfortable life. Now, what I like about this, okay, of all, is that having this gave me a love of life, love in my life, not in a bad way, but life is good, life is great, and hopefully, you always believe that life can get even better if it's possible. It's not nice when you get bad things, or you might get bills coming through the door, unexpected bills. Obviously, people pass and deaths and stuff like that, but things come. But if your life is comfortable, you always got that to fall back on. I like to have my children thinking about, no matter how bad things go or outside, they can always come home and just, go to their room, and that's their comfort zone. They never have to worry about anything, where the food's coming from, the bills, anything else. So it's a safe haven. Obviously, growing up is leaving that nest and going out and hitting the road and becoming an independent person. But I believe you're supposed to always impress your parents, and the way you honour them is by showing them they brought you up properly, or they brought you up reasonably well prepared, is by doing well by yourself, which reflects on them. Good upbringing. Now the fear was, I've always had control. I loved engineering at first. When I got a bit of, like I said, a bit fed up with that, I went into a little bit of computing. That wasn't too bad, I quite like that. But it's still 9 to 5, you're clocking in, someone's in charge of you, you have to ask for the holidays. I was very blessed. I was under Barclays and they sponsored me as well, so I got a few more holidays, got real good pay. When it changed to shifts, which everything changed to shifts eventually, most places are shifts now, and I said to them, if I can't do that, I can't train, I'm going to have to leave. They gave me in charge of a shift which was catered around me, to which I could then train, teach and fight, which was very good. I had a few shifts, and one of them was picture perfect for me, and allowed me to, and I was also in charge of it, which is great. And so I had it pretty good, pretty easy. But the thing what I didn't want to do is years from now, think about it, things are changing, companies go bust. I always used a story about Blockbusters, where Blockbusters had a chance to go streaming, but they put it down, thinking that everybody wants to go out in the rain and go and collect a video, DVD, whatever. Streaming is the future, and you gotta keep up to date. You gotta keep moving forward, knowing that things change all the time. Companies grow, companies shrink, and they go bust. I thought, how can I, maintain a comfortable life? And it wasn't about my sport; it's about having a comfortable life on a whole. So I didn't want to be a factory worker, just generally doing odd jobs, sweeping up, you name it, clearing up later on down the line. Because as I go into my career, and I started with my career for 10, 20, 30 years, technically my experience is not there no more. My qualifications don't really carry any weight. And this is one of my fears, to be a nobody. Other thing as well is, is having a job which is feels like it's a dead end. It's not going anywhere. You can't progress. You can't get anywhere in the way your supervisor's foreman. You can't basically advance yourself. When you're young, you get a job. It's all about promotion. It's all about advancing. Going up the ladder, becoming a supervisor, charge hands. One in charge or one underneath the boss in charge, right hand man, or one of the top people in the companies. And one of my fears is being, I think, is like at the end of my career, I could end up being someone who's on the shop floor, and people say that guy used to be a great martial artist, and they look round, like imagine in boxing or any other sport, and they say, so what went wrong? The reason why they went wrong, because you are somewhere where you think if you're successful, again, fame, fortune, anything else, they don't ever believe you're going to be in that position. But it's surprising when you study and see how many great sportsmen go bust. You see people like even Michael Jackson, he struggled. Mike Tyson, he went bust. Vander Holyfield, a lot of these top basketball players, you name it. There's so many people, and you finally hear that they've gone bankrupt. They claim bankruptcy, and the first thing you think is, how the hell? They're making up to the amount of millions per year and so forth. And this is a problem. It's like when things are going well, everybody believes it's never going to end. And I always believe, I know I'm young, but I know eventually I'm going to get old. I'm going to slow down. My skill set is my body. And if anything goes wrong, I have an accident or anything else, what's going to happen? And so I always thought to myself, from the word go at 20, I thought to myself, I want to prepare for the future to allow myself to have this comfortable life forever. Now, one of the main things in life, I believe, is, when you reach in the later part of your life, don't know what you call later part, I'm 50, but again, people might say 40, 45, 50, or even 60, the later part of life. The later part is when you can see the value of what you've done, the choices you've made. So you need to invest in the future from a very early age. What I mean early age is roughly about 20, when your things hopefully start to settle, when you start to make reasonable money, even if it's only £5, a month, £10 a month, and each month you might try and put a little bit more, just something, just to get into the habit. It's not about saving, it's about getting a habit which you can grow and improve on. And that is a secret for number one about preparing for the future. So I'm finishing off on that note, guys. So I hope you like. It's a bit of a rant, I just a thought I've been having lately. I always have this thought from time to time. Maybe because it's the beginning of the year and it's clashing with my New Year's resolution. But hopefully, like what I'm saying. I'm Mark Greer signing off now. Don't forget, Fountain of Youth for Sweat. Work hard, sweat more, and stay young.